Bradshaw, and I'm here to talk to you about the Finger Lakes music scene. I can't believe it's today. Uh, we we waited all summer for it to get started, and next thing you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I'll be talking to you about the music that's coming up from August 31st through September 6th. Well, I used to be a teacher, so Labor Day weekend had a pretty significant feeling about it. Now that not a public school teacher, I realize that I don't have to get all weepy here at Labor Day because there's plenty of weeks of sun and fun coming up at the Finger Lakes. But let's focus on the here and now. Let's get it right in here. Have you heard of Finger Lakes Music 247? FLX Music 247.com is a searchable online calendar with the live music events all throughout the Finger Lakes. It's color coded so you can stick in your general geographic area, or you can search by town or specific venue. If you know the artist you want to see, look them up in a different place. You can't search by artist. If an artist has up-to-date social media or a web page for you to check, then you'll find it there. Otherwise, use the calendar to search by day. That's the easiest way. Did you know you can click on the music event as well? If the venue is a partner of mine, there'll be a lot of extra information. If they're not a partner of mine, there might be a little bit of information. If there's a ticket link, it'll definitely be there, or a phone number or an email for reservations also. Most events on the calendar are free. If it requires a ticket, I'll put a note on there, click for ticket link. Occasionally there's a venue that offers music for a $5 or $10 cover charge. I don't often note that on the front page, but if you click on the music event, it'll say that. Also, when you click on the music event, if you're new to the area, you can find a map and weather feature to help you find where you're going. It's really easy to use. There's no ads, there's no pop-ups, and it just eliminates hours of scrolling and scrolling and scrolling looking for what you want to do while you're here in the Finger Lakes. A great resource. So hey, each week I present some hot spots, some hot shots, some tried and true venues and musicians, and something new just to give you the lowdown. It's just a skim of all the events that are available in the Finger Lakes. And make sure you check back each day or weekend before you head out. I'm often adding new events daily to the calendar, so keep looking back. So let's get started with the hot spots here. These are places that are going to have some fun this weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, and the Finger Lakes lights up for another weekend of fun, a 3-day weekend of fun. So let's get it started. Friday night at the Finger Lakes Cider House, Feed the Fire, one of my favorite bands. My friend Will is the organizer of that band, and they offer psychedelic influence, just a super cool groove. April is their vocalist, and she's got a cool, kind of raw sounding voice that just carries across the evening sunrise. The evening sunset. I'm just thinking about the band. I've seen them several times, and how do you describe music? Let me say it. It's great. Go see them. Anyway, down at Keuka Lake, Keg and Barrel, they offer a great little place with a view of Keuka Lake. Leah Brown at the Side Hustles playing down there on Friday from 6 to 9. Leah Brown's going to present a nice set of covers and favorites for your enjoyment down there. You can sit outside on the deck. They have over 20 different offerings on tap and some tasty food offerings right from the kitchen. Another famous and fabulous brewery is Climbing Vines, and they offer a festival this weekend with Mike Powell and the Echo Sound performing on Saturday around 2 p.m. If I get the time nailed down, I'll let you know about that. But they're going to have a music fest down there. Mike Powell and Echo Sound is a original rock and Americana band. It'll be a super great concert. Wonderful grounds. Take your lawn chair down there. Hosmer Winery is having their Some Like It Hot annual party, and they're offering a super classic rock superstar group, father-son duo, plus a few more members, Hot Dogs and Gin. And if you haven't heard Hot Dogs and Gin this summer, you better hear them, because they're superstar prodigy guitar player who was 12, and then he was 13, and then I think he's 14, but if you don't hear him this year, when you come back, he'll be 15. So make sure you stop in and see them and enjoy what Hosmer Winery has to offer. They also offer music on Sundays from 1 to 4 at their Music and Mimosas. That sounds delicious. And since this week you'll have Monday off, Sundays morning mimosas sound even better, or I guess it's early afternoon. Rachel Beverly will play from 1 to 4 down there at Hosmer, and that's on Route 89, heading down on the west side of Keuka Lake. Our favorite, Miranda Cheese. Wow, what a summer they've had. In the past, they just did music on Sundays. This year, they added Saturdays, and it's been a great summer for them. Evan Dillon will play, and Evan Dillon plays a variety of music, including classic rock, some country, and some blues. And he's just a gifted singer-songwriter. You'll enjoy him. And on Sunday, they light up the world with Menage a Soul, which is a 7-piece party band, and they're going to bring lots of dance and funk and party music to Miranda from 2 to 5 on Sunday, September 3rd. Should be a great show. And Two Goats, again. Now, I don't know how many times I've talked about Two Goats this summer. I just can't stop. It's been a favorite place of mine for many years because of its location perched high up on the hill. But it's just been super fun to watch them grow and expand. They've added on a new deck. They've added on a music stage. They expanded their previous deck, and it's just nice to see them offer this incredible space where people can gather for brews and one food item. If you recall, the New York state law requires you to sell food when you sell beer. And, for startup companies, sometimes that can be an added cost that doesn't always pay off. But now, Two Goats is famous for their beef on wick, which is the only food they offer besides popcorn. But it's well worth the drive. If you're from the top of the lakes, just head on down. It's about 8 miles north of Watkins Glen on the east side of Seneca Lake. The sunset's to die for. They have 4 bands this week. I don't even know what they are. Davey O's playing on Thursday. Rockabilly Steve is playing on Friday. Billy and the Therapists are playing on Saturday the 2nd, and Quister, my favorite Rust Belt reggae band, will perform on Sunday from 4 to 7. So that'll be a great day. And since you have Monday off, I don't know, challenge yourself. Can you go there 4 days in a row? Listen to some great bands. Anyway, it'll be fun if you get a chance. Check it out. In the hotshot category, I'd like to talk about my friends Kate and Dave. Well, David Kuykendall is a guitar player, and Kate Ferguson Schmindel is a talented, trained vocalist. And when they combine, they make some music that everybody loves. I mean, they have some jazz influenced music, but they also do some other standard covers, and they're just all tastefully done. And each one of them's new. They tell me that they never perform the same set or the same song the same way throughout their performances. So catch them at the Switzerland Inn. The Switzerland Inn is a full-service restaurant that hangs on the side of Keuka Lake, facing towards the west. Glorious sunsets. The food is great. They have specials. They have music a couple times a week, and they're one of the only spots in the whole area that offers a late night scene. They have DJs playing on Friday and Saturday night from, I think, 10 to 1 a.m. So if you're looking for a party on Labor Day weekend and you want to stay up late, that's the place. Speaking of staying up late and being in places, make sure you have a driver. Labor Day weekend is a weekend for everyone to enjoy, so make sure if you're going to imbibe that you have a driver that can get you and your crew home safely. There's nothing like a cop stop or a tragedy on Labor Day weekend to ruin somebody's life. Anyway, Virgil Kane's also going to play. He's a touring artist that's in the Finger Lakes here and again. Every once in a while, when he's here, you got to see him, and he'll be playing some great funk and party music on Sunday the 3rd down there at Switzerland Inn. Another hot shot I'd like to note, this guy gets around. Mike Lucy, acoustic solo player, super sweet, super nice guy, great style. Enjoyable music to listen to while you're hanging out with friends or sipping on something. He'll be at Finger Lakes Beer Company down in Hammondsport on Friday from 4 to 7. And then he'll be up north at the Buttonwood Grove. If you haven't had a chance to see Buttonwood Grove, that's another one of those venues that, if you need some time to kick it back, Saturday the 2nd, 1 to 4, they have some outdoor chairs. You can bring your own comfortable lawn chair and sit outside. They've got some covered areas, and they have a great food offering down there as well, in addition to their wine. It's just a beautiful slice of heaven, The Finger Lakes has lots of those little slices, so you got to find yours. River Lynch, another talented songwriter and singer. His band is called the Spirit Makers. I put that up there. I think his performance at Engine 14 is just going to be him solo. But he's a gifted writer. He's a gifted singer, and I love to read his bio. He quit college to dedicate his life to music. So I'm really proud of people that follow their heart. It's not always an easy path. I'm a musician as well. I know what it takes to put together the actual music. I know what it takes to put together the heart and the soul, to put yourself out there in front of others to perform. So whenever you get a chance to hear someone sing, please consider everything that goes into the performance that's happened for a lifetime, for the month, the week, the day, and the minutes before the performance, and give them some love and some tips if you can. But River Lynch will be playing at Naples Engine 14 Brewery down there. That'll be fun, Friday from 6 to 9. Another artist that spends the summer in the Finger Lakes, what a smart guy. I'm not sure where he goes in the off season. I better find out. But Fabi plays some nice world music, and he plays Sundays at Damiani. He spent the summer playing at a few different venues and presenting his music. He'll be at Damiani on Sunday from 1 to 4. Another beautiful spot that sits high up on the hill, great vistas, and awesome food and drink. They have some food trucks there on Sunday for you as well. Another rising star, Rev Ezra, out of the Ithaca area, he'll be bringing his trio to Atwater Winery, Seneca Lake. Every time I mention any of these events, I just think about kicking back and listening and enjoying music and these beautiful, beautiful vistas of the lake. Atwater's another one of them. Atwater is actually right next to Two Goats, so you could double up on Sunday. Rev is going to play from 6 to 8, and he is an original singer-songwriter as well, and his music falls in, I'm going to call it the country, Americana, a little bit of bluegrass genre. Should be a great show. And, well, if you like jazz, if you like trumpets, I myself will be playing on Tuesday the 4th at Twisted Rail in Geneva. Falima offers a rotating program. The first Tuesday of the month is jazz, and myself and several of my colleagues come out to play jazz with Lone Gonzo there at Twisted Rail in Geneva. We have a super great time. If you're an instrumentalist, if you only have one song, bring your song. If you want to get on stage, if you want to get involved, we're happy to help you do that. We're all about growing the music scene in Geneva and the general Finger Lakes area. So come on out and hang out with us. Well, the Tried and True segment is dedicated to those places or bands that you maybe have heard of before, or you've been to before, but they're dependable, let me tell you. So South Hill Cider down at Ithaca is having a Labor Day weekend. They have music three days this weekend. They kick off on Thursday the 31st with Bronwyn Exeter, a singer-songwriter, soloist, and then Afro Beta will play on Friday. That should be a great time from 5:30 to 8:30. And they also have an incredible view, so you'll be able to see the sunset from the South Hill. Just stunning. Beautiful. And on Saturday, not live music exactly, but DJ Mateo and Dijon will be down there spinning vinyl. Sometimes those old records, that can be a pretty fun time, and I'm sure they'll probably take a request or two if you're in the area. My friends, Luke and Jen at Scale House, again and again and again. Jen just loves live music. She's down there. Their breweries, little icon logos are beer and pizza, and they have great beer, and their pizza's incredible. They have a full staff down there pushing out pizzas all day long. They're delicious too. I might say that I've had quite a few of them. But they're going to offer 3 bands on Saturday, starting right at noon with Quister, which is our famous Rust Belt reggae, super fun guys, spinning tunes and doing lots of beat mashups. Bob Roberts' Calamity will play from 3 to 5, and they'll finish off with Terrapin Station from 6:30 to 9:30 for a Grateful Dead jam. Jen loves the Dead, so Terrapin Station's right up her alley, and it's going to be a fun day to make the peak of the weekend on Saturday from 12 to almost 10 o'clock. A classic rock band, Bad Juju, is famous around the area. That's how they made the tried and true list. They're going to be at Tin Barn Brewing, which is on the west side of Seneca Lake, high up on the hill near Glenora Winery, on Saturday from 2 to 5. You can also catch Bad Juju at Swifties in Auburn on Sunday night from 6 to 9. They're just a fun party band, and they play classic rock, and a lot of people like that. Twisted Rail in Canandaigua has a new stage at their lakeside establishment right on the shores of Canandaigua Lake on the North Shore. They're going to offer two great bands this weekend. Band from the Tavern, dance, party, funk band, 7 to 10, and Mr. Monkey Duo, which is Patty Dillman and her comrade. They'll be playing on Saturday from 6 to 10. That's a super fun. Mr. Monkey is a super fun group to listen to and watch. They're just higher energy people, and they might have a little bit of extravaganza in them. So head out to Twisted Rail in Canandaigua for a great show. They also have food and drink available at the restaurant. Patrick at Little Italy in Seneca Falls. Little Italy is a restaurant that was established in 2002, and they have some great pizza there. They also have a full dining room and bar. Did you know that? I mean, most people from Seneca Falls sees there's actually two storefronts side by side, and one is the pizza shop, and if you peek your head around the corner, they have a full service restaurant and bar in there, and they offer music usually throughout the year, sometimes Wednesdays, sometimes Fridays, sometimes Saturdays. This week they're going to offer a local favorite, Major Keys. Major Keys gets around. Shelly Major is the percussionist. She plays a full set when she plays in a larger group, and she plays, I don't know what they're called, those beatbox percussion things, but she plays with her friend Brad on keys and sometimes another player. And they have a good time, and they play a lot of good covers and favorites that you'll enjoy. So head to Seneca Falls on Friday the 1st from 6 to 9. Head over to Little Italy. Tell Patrick I said hi if you see him. And then a long-standing music series. This is probably the most promoted music series in the entire Finger Lakes. So I have to shout it out to Ventosa for doing a great job of getting the word out about their music program. And year-round, they're packed in their happy hour. They have happy hour specials to go along with live music. And this week, we're going to welcome Liam Alone, a solo singer-songwriter who is pretty well known in the area, on Wednesday the 6th from 6 to 9. And keep your eye on the calendar. Ventosa occasionally has some pop-up great music events, some of them ticketed, some with dinner. But they always have Wednesday happy hour. And as the calendar turns and the weather turns with it, their music will be inside, so it'll be warm and dry at Ventosa year-round. All right, well, let's see what the Something New board has to show for this week. And while I've been talking about Brewery Ardennes all summer because I helped them organize their music series, I keep talking about it because Brewery Ardennes is fantastic. And the artists that I have met in the past year and were able to bring to Brewery Ardennes has been a pretty amazing thing. I met Aaron and Ross at the Rochester International Jazz Festival. Aaron is a Eastman-trained French horn player. Now, French horn players are not well known in jazz, typically. She also plays the keys and sings, but that French horn gets in her set. And Ross Falzone is a pretty well-established musician, a bass player. And so they're going to bring together a set and perform some of the songs from their recently released album at Brewery Ardennes on Thursday, the 31st at 5:30. I'll be there. If you're there, please say hi. It should be a wonderful evening of music. It'll be outdoors, weather permitting, or indoors if not. And Brewery Ardennes is a beautiful place to hang out. Not to mention the friendliness of the staff and the owners, Derek and Stacy Edinger. Really great place and great food and beverage. I stopped in for a minute earlier this summer, and Coho Wine Bar said, they weren't having music yet, but guess what? They are now. And Steve West will perform on Thursday the 31st from 6 to 9 p.m. I think there's going to be regular standing order music on Thursdays from 6 to 9. I think Steve West is going to be the host for those. He's a great singer-songwriter from the Lima area, and we welcome Coho Wine Bar into the music scene in Canandaigua. Should be great. They have pizza and a lot of other great things on their menu, and as a new place, they need new people, so head on over there. Another fun thing to do is, and this is something if you're visiting in the area, I hope you've heard of Sonnenberg Gardens. I'm sure you saw it in some of the tourism magazines. It's a gorgeous historic area, and in addition to the mansion on the property, they just have these incredible, mature, and well-maintained gardens, and they offer on Fridays the moonlight stroll. And so imagine band playing, and now it'll definitely be dark from 8 to 10, and the lights on and the band playing, and you'll definitely be able to enjoy some strolling through the gardens lit by their solar lights that will guide you. Should be a magical and beautiful evening. There is a ticket associated with that. You can get to the ticket right on FLXmusic247.com by clicking on the music event. I encourage you to check that out if you have time. Another place I like to head down to is Seneca Lake Brewing, down on the west side of Seneca Lake. They have a nice east-facing view. They have beautiful grounds and lots of opportunity to be outside. The Gilmore girls, they're not girls, they're the Muir brothers, but it's a play on words. Get it, Gilmore girls, but. Fabulous acoustic duo. They'll be playing. Seneca Lake Brewery offers some English-style brews and food at their place, and there's some other neat places nearby to stop in, like the Barnstormer and Toast, so you can make a mini tour up in that area if you're looking for something to do. Another place that's been open for a little bit, just recently adding music to their program, is Smokin' Pete's, which is a barbecue joint about 4 or 5 miles south of Geneva. They offered a band a couple weekends ago, and they'll be offering Will Nepple on Saturday the 2nd from 1 to 4. That's a weather permitting event, so if it's raining and you're planning on seeing Will, you might want to give him a call to see if he's playing. But the food's great, and another new place needs new people. So stop in and see what Smokin' Pete's has to offer and give them a hand getting established here in the Finger Lakes. We need a barbecue place, and this one could be the one. So check it out. Over in Port Byron, Potter's Farm to Fork. Now, Port Byron isn't typically noted as a destination for food and drink, but Brian Potter's put together something special over there. Their outdoor patio looks beautiful. They're offering music 3 times a week. They have music on, I don't know. I can't remember every day. I know for sure they have it on Mondays. They also offer music, I think, on Friday and Saturday evenings with lots of food specials. They're a community-minded restaurant, so Brian really is invested in the restaurant and in helping out his neighbors wherever he can. I asked him, where do you get your customers from? Because I don't see Port Byron as being like a hip-hop happening place. And he said, you would be surprised. And he noted that several of his customers are people who walk the canal trail and are looking for birds. Okay, but Brian also has a huge craft brewing list over there. Monday nights they have the Burgers, Brews, and Beats series, so where you get a domestic beer and a burger for $10. This week they're going to welcome Lock 52, which is a jazz band with lots of old dudes in it, but the music's so good. So I hope that wasn't mean, old dudes. But sometimes it takes a lifetime to become an accomplished musician. Let me tell you, I'm still working on it. But Lock 52 Jazz has a nice Dixieland feel, and you won't be let down. That's going to be Monday from 6 to 8 on Labor Day. So if you're still in the area, you're looking for something fun to do, check the calendar, because there's more than one thing to do on Mondays in the Finger Lakes, and those events will keep on throughout the month of September. So I'm kind of something new. My upcoming event list is not very full for you this week because this is the last broadcast for the summer. This is our 16th week of podcasts for you, and I just have to end it for the summer. The fall, the winter, the spring, music still goes on here in the Finger Lakes. You can find it all at FLXmusic247.com. I spend a couple of hours hopefully not hours each day, but a few hours each day thinking about, working with, promoting, talking about music in this area. So check back weekly. I continue to add new events, and I continue to get new partner venues. Remember those farmer markets, and the Twist and Rail on Tuesdays and Rio Tomatlan on Wednesdays. And pretty soon the calendar will be loaded up with incredible fall festivals. The fall is another gorgeous time of year here in the Finger Lakes, and we light it up. So there'll be tons of music coming up for fall festivals. And as always, there'll be hundreds of music events on that calendar. And just as an ending note, it's funny, you think about what you do, and the same thing, you can say the same thing. If you cooked dinner every night this month, you cooked 30 dinners. Well, cooking dinner every night doesn't seem like a big thing when you think about what it takes to put on 30 dinners. The planning, the shopping, the actual cooking, the cleanup, all that, it's a lot. So I want to put out a few numbers for you as it relates to FLXmusic247.com. Before I forget though, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. I'll be upping my presence in the off season in lieu of the podcast. And if you'd like to connect with me, please check out my email at flxmusic247@gmail. There's lots of things I can do to help you. I can help you book a band. I can help you find a band. I can help you promote your music. I can do all that stuff. So hit me up with an email. And so here in my last and closing comments, I'd like to say that over the last 15 weeks in the Finger Lakes, there have been about 3,000 events on the calendar. Now, there's probably a lot more. I'm sure I missed a few here and there, but that's 3,000 events representing over 200 venues and well over 600 musicians. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I'm really proud to be able to promote the venues that offer wonderful musical experiences for you, the guest, the listener, the resident, and also incredibly super proud to promote the musical performances of those artists that go out each week and put together musical sets for your enjoyment. It's a great thing. Since Memorial Day, I've had about 20,000 people check out the calendar to find live music events. And in my mind, I think, well, most people go out with somebody else. I usually go out by myself, but a lot of people take a friend or two or three or four. So the impact of the calendar is probably about 40,000 people this summer, and if everybody spent $25 to $30 when they went out, now that's not probably true, but I like to think about it that way, that the calendar influenced about $1 million worth of spending power this summer. That's kind of cool. The podcast, 16 weeks of podcast, not really sure how many people saw it, but let's just say about 100 people a week. So for those 1,600 people that got some information or enjoyed a few minutes listening to the hot spots and the hot shots and the tried and true and the something new in the Finger Lakes, I thank you for being here. And for those places and bands that were promoted in the podcast, we put out about 500 promotional messages for the summer. So again, it's small, it's big, however you see things. I like to see it as an important service for the Finger Lakes. I'd like to especially thank my producer, Paul Russo, here in the studio at FingerLakes1.com. He's been a constant companion for the last 16 weeks and super great guy and easy to work with. And I'd also like to thank FingerLakes1.com and Jimmy Sinacropi for the opportunity to put on this weekly podcast to help our residents and our visitors enjoy the Finger Lakes to the highest extent possible. And again, thank you, fans. If you've heard the podcast and you want to give some feedback, I'd love to hear it. And hope to be back next May to talk about music again. Have a great off season. It's not off here. Have a great other season here. We call it the on season and then the other season. Here from FingerLakes1.com, FLXmusic247.com. Have a great other season. Thank you.